If you want to support the channel, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Thank you. Hey, what's up everybody? Tricks Ridiculous back with another video, and in this one I'm showing off my Captain America build in Midnight Suns. I believe Captain America is the best tank in the game, and I'm going to show you why in this video. Before we do, be sure to like the video if you like Midnight Suns content and subscribe for more, but otherwise let's jump right into it. So right off the bat, you can see this is what I am using for Captain America. I'm using 1 Brooklyn Handshake, 2 dig-ins, 2 best defense, 2 shield bounce, and shield charge. Captain America's passive all day is that he begins the combat with block and gains a little bit of block every turn. It's really not that much. It's nothing to really write home about. But Captain America really is, I think, the best tank in the game for a couple of reasons. He relies on block more so than most other tanks. The only other tank that really relies on block is Captain Marvel, who's a bit more of a tank damage hybrid. And then you've got Hulk and Wolverine, which do not rely on block. They rely heavily on just having high health pools and regenerating health, which is not really the best way to tank in this game. And, you know, between Captain America and Captain Marvel, Captain America has much easier, better ways to gain block and keep his block up. So we're going to kind of go through all of that here. Now, I'm using 1 attack, Brooklyn Handshake. I have it modded to Quick. Now, what you can use if you don't have this, obviously Quick is a great mod. Knockback. If the target was damaged this turn, it is forceful. On KO, you draw 2 cards. That's what it has up front. Obviously, you want Quick on it so that you can use it on minions and just be able to draw those 2 cards. If you do not have this, you can just use Quick Punch. Quick Punch is pretty straightforward. It's just quick and taunt. What I would do is I would try to mod this for potentially more heroism, maybe block on KO. It already upgrades to draw a card on KO, so you can't get more draw on it. Luckily, that's why the Brooklyn Handshake one is just simply better. But, you know, you can use this if you want to kind of just get more Captain America cards, which I do recommend. But I'm using 1 Brooklyn Handshake just because I don't feel it's super necessary to have 2 of these. I would rather have the rest of the cards that I have in this deck. And especially, I tend to pair Captain America with other characters who have maybe better quick attacks, who I would want to actually be doing their quick attacks, or who just have abilities that can actually draw the last attack card played over and over again, in which case 2 Brooklyn Handshakes tends to muck up your hand. You don't really need that many of them, so I just go with the 1. Then I go with 2 dig-ins. Now, dig-in is extremely powerful. Basically, you select an ally and you taunt all enemies targeting that ally. You gain block and you gain 1 counter. It's extremely powerful. All of that is worth it just in and of itself. This can roll the free mod. Of course, that is the best mod in the game for all skills. You want the free mod. If you can't get the free mod, I would recommend you get potentially extra heroism, you know, get it so that it gives you +4 heroism instead of just +2, or even if you just mod it to maybe draw 2 cards, or to even just draw another Captain America card, that could be good too. If you can get the free though, go for the free. You'll be able to just throw this out there without using a card play. Extremely, extremely powerful. All right, then I have that free mod on both of my dig-ins. Then I'm using the best defense. This is a very good card. Basically, Captain America gains block equal to damage that he deals for 2 turns, and you draw 2 Captain America cards. Extremely powerful. Now, I have mine both modded to gain 1 counter. I'm a little up in the air if this is super necessary, just because dig in already gives you counter. So sometimes I do end up with a little more counter than I think I need, but it is very essential in situations where you don't draw dig in, because the best defense really working, this essentially stands alone, because what it does is whenever he deals damage, Captain America, he gains block back. That includes damage that you deal when you counter an enemy, and you'll see that in the gameplay that I provide at the end of the video. When you take a hit, it'll take some of your block, and then you'll counter the enemy back, and however much you hit them for back, you're going to gain that block back. All right, so on lower difficulties you can go infinite, and even on Ultimate 3 you can essentially go infinite as long as you're applying weak to enemies, which we do have coming up here. So I'm using 2 best defense. Basically, if you even have the most base Captain America, maybe you're just getting into the game and you've just started, you want to kind of start leveling up your Captain America, or even if you're getting into endgame, even if you don't have all of the mods and all of the upgrades that I have here, I would always recommend running 2 best defense and 2 dig-ins. If you use those 2 in conjunction, you're going to absolutely tank everything. You're going to keep your shield up all the time. No enemies are going to be able to damage any of your allies. It's going to be absolutely phenomenal for you. I strongly recommend using these 2 as a 1-2 punch, especially if you're struggling a little bit to get to Ultimate 3 and you're really trying to push yourself into the harder difficulties. I would strongly recommend investing in Captain America's cards here, getting a setup similar to this, and then really lean heavily on the best defense. And of course, this draws you 2 Captain America cards, so more than likely you're going to draw a dig in. You're going to be able to play that to draw enemies away from your allies and get that counter to go along with gaining the block back. So it's going to be absolutely money. And this particular 2-card combo can absolutely carry entire teams on Ultimate 3, and you'll see that in the gameplay that I provide. Now I'm using 2 shield bounce, and I have them both modified for increased area of effect. I really like shield bounce. I think it's a very good ability. It essentially damages and taunts all enemies in a given area, and it applies 1 week. Now I have it modded for increased area effect on both of them just because I do want this to hit as many enemies as possible, and especially if I'm not really worried about damage. You can mod these to get a status effect, maybe something like vulnerable. It already applies weak, which is really what we're looking for with Captain America, because we want to be able to tank them back. And I really want that increased AoE because I don't care about damage. I just care about applying that taunt and that weak all over the battlefield. And especially if you have minion type enemies, those 1-hit enemies that have maybe marked on them, maybe from another character, you can easily just get this card play back by just including one of those enemies in the overall range. You'll get that free kill without even have to worry about the damage, and then still taunt everything else in the area. That's why I run 2. It's just really heavy. You don't have to use 2 shield bounces. If any card could be cut for another Brooklyn Handshake, it could be a shield bounce here. I just like to run 2 because I really want to lean heavily into that taunt and counter style gameplay for Captain America, and being able to apply that weak and essentially get all of your shield right back up. Because remember, the best defense is all damage he deals for 2 turns. So, even though shield bounce doesn't do a lot of damage, if you play best defense, draw a shield bounce, and then use shield bounce on 3 or 4 enemies, every single one of those enemies takes the same amount of damage. You're going to instantly go right up to max shield, right? Max block. So extremely powerful. I really like just spreading this effect all over the battlefield. And then shield charge, this is really your absolute, just complete money haymaker here. Now mine is not modded the way I would like. I would like potentially either an increased AoE or just more damage, which I'm not sure if you can get. But essentially you consume all your block to damage enemies in a line, draw a card for each target. Absolutely fantastic. Again, especially if you're maxed out on your shield, this can also crit, right? So it's very easy. My Captain America in this case has 848 health, meaning he can get 848 max shield, and then combine that with, crit chance of 50%. So 50% of the time, this is going to be a crit hit with 75% bonus damage on top of that 848. This is hitting for, 1,000 and change, right? This is hitting very, very hard. And then every enemy it hits, again, it consumes your block, but it gives you that block back if you have the best defense active. So that's why it's so good. It essentially doesn't consume any block, right? Extremely, extremely powerful, and big damage numbers in a line can absolutely wipe out some enemies, including large health bar enemies, if you line them up correctly. So really, really strong. That's how I use him. A couple of other options. I already mentioned Quick Punch. This is essentially all of his other cards that I don't play. I don't really like Spang. It's not horrible because enemies are going to be targeting you. That's the whole point. But personally, excuse me, I don't think it's super necessary, and because we're already pretty heavy in the heroic slot anyway, I wouldn't really want to cut any of these heroics. I'm certainly not cutting any, dig in or best defense. These are absolutely 4 staples in the deck. I would never run less than 2 of either of these in Captain America. So we're forced to run at least 1 attack. So it's Brooklyn Handshake, and then these are the heroics I would run. I would not run Spang over any of these, so that's why it doesn't make the cut. Tactician, similar reason. Draw 2 cards and gain some block, and it gives some block to allies on upgrade. Again, just not super necessary, especially because of the best defense. This is just better to draw cards. You want to draw Captain America cards with this, and you really want this effect. So again, Tactician, not really super worth it. Giving block to allies is not super necessary, especially with this build, because ideally, they're not going to be attacking your allies anyway. They're going to be taunted on you. So it doesn't really matter that you give them block. Punch, really not super necessary. It can be modded to have quick, but overall not that good, not better than Brooklyn Handshake. This is definitely, I would say, the best one, at least for this style. The only other card I could certainly recommend is Shield Bash. This can be a really interesting one because it essentially consumes some of your block to deal additional damage, right? So again, I can get upwards of like 840 something block, plus potentially a crit. That could be, if my math's correct, you're looking at like 300 plus crit. You're looking at like 500 damage if I'm at full health, full shield, about 500 damage. And remember, the reason this is still really good, it's a very powerful attack. You can mod it to have quick, and then if you have the best defense active, that block that you consumed is going to come right back. So this could be a pretty nasty quick attack on some higher health bar enemies, but just the way I have it set up, I would prefer the draw, just to use this on minion type enemies and just draw 2 cards straight up to help me get to some of my other Captain America cards or other cards that I'm running for my allies. So I find that a little better than trying to lean more into the offense. Cap is definitely not a very offensive character aside from Shield Charge, which can absolutely devastate large enemies, but otherwise you're really looking at more of kind of AoE, kind of crowd control and tankiness there. So that is my Captain America. This is the way I like to have him built. I think he's extremely powerful. Like I said, even if you don't have it built exactly this way, I would heavily lean into just getting 2 best defense and 2 dig-ins upgraded with decent mods on them. And I promise you, those 2 cards alone, when played in conjunction, will carry your teams all the way up to Ultimate 3. You have my word on that. But anyway, that's it for me, and that is it for Captain America. Let me know what you think. As always, I will leave some gameplay of Captain America. Again, I'll try to, he's a tank, so some of the missions that I play with him when gathering footage, it is still a team effort. Like I said, he's not really a damage dealer. He is more of a tank. So I tried to lean as heavily into Cap as I could in some of these missions, but you'll see that he kind of does mostly the tanking, and it's the other characters that do kind of help out a bit. But that's it for me, guys. Let me know how you have your Captain America built. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know if you did like the video. Be sure to leave a like, subscribe for more Midnight Suns content. That's it for me, and I'll see you in the next one.
We need to take that monster out.
Behold my priestess.
Can't seem to lose them.
Show no mercy.
No problem.
Someone order a knuckle sandwich? Just the boost I needed. I'm here to help. I haven't lost their interest yet.
So it begins.
That's gonna leave a mark. It's time to finish this.
It's amazing what you managed to pull off with just a shield.
I am ready. Ready?
That wasn't bad. Good one.
Prepare yourselves. Powerful sorcery. Excellent. Even I need a boost now and then.
Roger that. Here we go.
Trifling creature.
This is still happening. Target confirmed.
Guardian strong.
The end begins.
I'm locked down here.
I hope you're ready.
Hope they're ready. Help is at hand.
This one's for you.
This is gonna hurt.
They don't have any more of that serum, right?
Fear my blade. This is a good day. Consider it done. Once again.
You wouldn't have lasted 5 minutes back in Camp Levi.
It's better if you quit now. None can escape. They have a hold on me.
Time to show him who's in charge here.
Let me help.
On my mark.
We've done it. Excellent work.
Why? Look any different?
Hydra has been running some kind of field tests in the area, and that device is the key. They would rather destroy it than let us get our hands on it, so it must be important. Those soldiers are targeting the device. Do whatever it takes to stop them.
Roger that. That's the stuff.
By the will of the old gods.
Nice work.
Prepare yourselves. This should aid me in my fight. Follow my movements. I hope this is one of the stronger arms. We did come all the way here for a fight.
My Greek mythology is a little rusty, but didn't the Hydra originally have 9 heads? I'm going for it! Looks like it's up to me. Yeah. Boy, I hope Hydra follows proper concussion protocols.
Sometimes I even impress myself. Watch closely. The light shines on the most dutiful.
Don't worry, I'm here to help. Still looking at me.
Oh, this should be good. Not to brag, but I feel pretty good right now.
Target confirmed.
Impressive.
Normally, I'd say your assistance is admirable.
They're not quite ready to give up just yet.
I'll be right here.
A blessing from the old god.
Appreciate it.
A moment of preparation.
We've got to stick together. Any progress is good progress. I'm going in.
Let's try this.
doesn't care about you. I hope you realize that in time. Let me show you the way. A gift from the ancient traditions.
You're going down. The bigger they are, the harder they fall.
Here we go again. Maybe, I don't know, you should have asked Lilith for cooler outfits?
Let's give it a go. Just what this battle requires.
Watch my back. Nice armor.
Looks like we've acquired some new hardware courtesy of Hydra. Good work.